as far as postpartum depression, it's like very near and dear with me because I suffered from postpartum depression.
Can you explain to us what that is? What is postpartum depression?
So the symptoms are inability to be able to have a connection with your baby, get easily angered or irritable, not having enough sleep, lack of appetite, not wanting to be around other people. You isolate yourself, a lot of fear. There's also postpartum anxiety, where a lot of women will be fearful of leaving the house with their baby or leaving their baby with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, ni con el papá. Like, I don't trust
he's
you.
not smart enough to handle this.
Like, it's
He's
like,
gonna mess
I
this
had
up.
a baby with you, but I don't trust you
Yeah.
with a baby. And I'm like,
Yes.
what? Explain that to me.
Hey, listen, when she didn't trust me, I understood. I got it. I get it. I'm an idiot. I'm going to drop stuff.
But that's how you learn,
Yeah.
right? Not I'm saying like you drop the baby and you learn, but that's how you learn because there's tons of books that teach you how to be a parent, but until you're right there in it, you're like, wait a minute. Like, you're letting me leave the hospital
with this thing,
with this baby?
Yeah.
Like,
I remember
like the first couple of days you're at the hospital, right? And the
somebody
and the nurses come and they help you, and
gets the baby.
and then it's like, wait a minute.
Where's the money?
You don't know me. You haven't done a background check on me, and you're letting me leave with this baby?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, just try not to bring the baby back. And I'm like, try not to kill this little human being. And basically, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's trying to
survive the baby.
survive
Can
this
I ask you a quick question?
baby that you brought into this world.
If you were a really wealthy person, does this affect you also? Because I think
it doesn't matter.
If you have a nanny that works with you.
So postpartum depression, if you have a history of sexual abuse, if you have a history of trauma, if you have a history of being in DV, domestic violence, which Irvin has talked about here.
Yeah.
If you have a history of, having parents that you lived in a toxic household, substance abuse, anywhere. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
You can suffer from this.
You can suffer from postpartum depression.
Because I know the husband might just go, it's just you haven't slept. That's why. You're not depressed. You're just sleepy. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's not it.
Part of it is that, and this is one of the things that I would stress with all my new moms in the beginning. Please, please, please sleep as much as you can. Because when you don't sleep, the brain will play games on you.
Yes.
And this is where the psychosis comes in.
Yeah, Richard.
Yes. No, not me.
Yeah, remember you never woke up?
Oh, that is okay. Can I ask you a question? For some reason, my ears just don't.
No.
They don't. I couldn't hear her. I could when we had our baby.
It's called selective listening. My husband. My husband has that too.
Yeah.
Nomás cuando le da la gana escucha.
So you understand? There's something wrong with us. It's not us. It's just it's selective listening.
Selectively heard.
Yeah.
Or did not hear.
And I would have gotten up, but I just didn't hear her cry. It was just
I think it's also important for you to know that 1 in 10 men will develop postpartum depression.
Oh.
Really? Men go through this too?
Men go through this too because it's a life-changing event for you,
Absolutely.
So your whole life changes. It's upside down. Before it was you and your wife, the perfect couple. You guys get to do whatever you want. And now you have this new baby and mom is paying attention to the baby and dad's like, ¿Y yo qué? Like, I feel left out. And this happens a lot that I've seen in our culture, that the men get resentful of the baby. So they don't want to get close to the baby because they're lo quieres más a él que a mí.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You need to bond with your baby too. You need to be a part of the baby's life.
Also the expectations of our culture, like, well, I took care of 6 kids and you only got one, and you're over here crying about one baby. I took care of 6 kids. You know what I mean?
Well, that was one of the things that would always come up because I
Yeah.
used to do postpartum group, is that the father would always be like, pero mi mamá, ella no
Yes.
tuvo problemas. It's like, dude, never
comparison.
compare your wife to your mother.
Or
Like,
anybody, I learned.
yeah, but
Anybody.
especially your mother, right? Like
Or
you just
anybody.
don't do that.
No.
And it was more of psychoeducating the father. It's like, okay, what is your role?
I think my dad went through that because my mom told me, she would tell me, as soon as I had your oldest brother, Victor, my older brother, as soon as I had him, he hated him. He completely changed. And it was because all I did was take care of him. Like I only took care of your dad and I fed him. I mean, I literally stood next to the stove, warmed up the tortilla, and I handed it to him.
No, pues wow.
And
that
so cuando
wasn't
llegó el
gonna work in
baby,
my house.
yeah. Cuando llegó el baby, he realized, hey, they're not handing me my tortillas I'm eating. They're not, here at my beck and need. So she really took it upon pushing back my brother, and they've always clashed as since I've known. They've always been against each other. I don't know if it all goes away or.
Even, I mean, it'll go away if you have a good, solid, respectful relationship and you communicate.
Oh, no, that was not happening. But okay.
En esa generación ya
No,
no.
nada,
se
nada,
platica, no.
No, not in Richard's house.
Not in my house. No, that was,
You just get over it.
oh, yeah. That's
lo
it.
que pasó,
You're not
pasó.
bleeding.
Yeah.
You're not bleeding.
Exactly.
You don't need to go to the
Yeah,
hospital. You're
yeah,
fine.
está bien, está
Yeah.
bien.
You and I grew up in the same house.
Oh, see? The only one.
Oh, great. Urban, we're a team now.
There we
Yeah.
go. I know.
Yeah, we just didn't give it cute names like depression.
Cute names.
They would call it payasadas.
Yeah,
Es
yeah.
un escándalo. Váyase a dormir.
Chillón.
Yeah.
But it's true what you said. I didn't believe in depression at all. Like postpartum, I heard about it, and because in my house there was no depression either, right? Like that doesn't exist. And when I had my child, I was like, oh, I think I have it. I think it hit me in the face hard.
Right. Well, when I had my son, so both of my babies, I called them my petri dish babies because they were here through the grace of science and God.
Okay.
They're IVF babies. So in order for me to bring them into this world as it is, it was a very challenging for my husband and I. So that in itself was already a factor that was leading me towards having the depression and the anxiety.
So much pressure, right?
Yeah. While I was pregnant with my son, I had a severe hyperemesis. You're looking at me like, ¿qué es
Yeah,
eso?
I don't know what that is. ¿Se come?
No se come. Es segomita. It's severe morning sickness.
Oh,
Like
No.
to the T, where it's like te pasas la saliva and
that's coming out.
yeah.
Oh.
So for 6 months, I was hooked up to an IV, and that's all that kept me and my baby alive.
Ooh, wow. And you said I want to do it again?
And I said I wanted to do it again.
Oh, my God. That's
But
love.
my body said no.
Oh,
No, girl, you can't do this
no,
again.
okay.
My second baby was born due to a surrogate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people don't talk about all these things that happen while in pregnancy. I was talking to Irvin, and one of my colleagues, Jasmine, is like, you know what they don't tell you at the hospital? They need to tell you the truth about having a baby and not show you that film from the 80s of the woman having the baby. And it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. No, You need to show us a C-section
The tied up
video.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to show us the mom hoo-ha ripping. You need to show us the truth
Yeah.
because they don't show you that.
No.
I remember my Lamaze class, the mom was like, oh, you'll just breathe. And it was heavenly and it was the most beautiful day in the world. And when my baby was born, I was like, get him out of me.
Yeah.
Ya no lo quiero tener aquí adentro. Casi me mata por
Yeah.
6 meses. And now I'm like, no, get him out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was devastating to me that it wasn't actually love at first sight when I saw him. When I saw him, I felt relieved. Like,
Good, I got rid of that.
honestly, yeah. And I felt like a horrible person.
Yeah.
that I was like, why am I not like all those moms that you see on TV? Like Irvin talks like the Cinderella story for
commercial.
Disney. Yeah. You have your baby, everything's wonderful. And it's like, no,
So
that's not the reality for a lot of women.
No.
And we have to be okay with normalizing it, that it's not going to be rainbows and butterflies for everybody, and it's not going to be love at first sight. That love eventually is going to come. Now he's the love of my life. I love my son.
yeah.
But it took time to get there.
Rocio brought up a good point when she got pregnant. She was like, this sucks because when you're going to graduate, you know there's a date. When you're going to get married, you know there's a date, so you get it out of your system. This is called the bachelor party. But when you get pregnant,
You don't have control.
that's it. You just lost it. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do anything. Like oh, I was going to go to a wedding. I was going to do that. Well, I'm not going to drink anymore.
Yeah,
And I'm
you-
not going to do this anymore.
You lose zero control of your life.
Exactly. We're going to go to Magic Mountain. Well, I'm not going to go to Magic Mountain. That's not what you
qué
do
voy
when
ahí?
you're pregnant. Yeah. You can't get on the rides. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
your change,
Afraid of-
just
yeah.
you have to adapt now.
You're afraid of wearing those heels that you like so much, and
Yeah.
yeah, because you might slip. And like we tried so, because us too, it took us 4 years when we
Yeah.
had a miracle baby.
Yeah.
That's just the one and done. But
She's
like,
adorable.
yeah, but you're afraid of doing so many things, and you don't realize how much your life does change.
It does. It changes
Instantly.
in a minute. And while you're going through it, a lot of people don't see how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And how difficult it can be in a marriage, you know. When my husband and I found out that we were both infertile, we're like, what the hell? Like, we're like Monica and Chandler from Friends, right? That she's like, I've always been a good hostess. And he's like, well, your uterus is killing my sperm. Like, you know, and it's like, oh my God. Out of all these people in the world, you and I found each other. So we were meant to go through this together. And we went through it, and we're still together 15 years later.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know this great podcast you should listen to. It's called Humor and Healing.
Yeah. They talk about all that. They talk about all That's all. Somebody is going through that as a husband. What can we do as a husband to help? Meaning, we're not experts. I think my wife is going through this.
Yeah.
If I even have a suspicion, I would like to help her, but how? How do I help her? Where can I be?
Ask her what, very simple question. What do you need? ¿Qué puedo hacer para
Te
ayudarte?
caes la boca y vete para allá.
No.
All right.
Even like little simple tasks, you know, if you see that she's tired, baby, go sit down. Let me wash the dishes for you. Let me make you a meal.
Okay.
You know, let me rub your feet. Let me do something for you. Because as your wife would know, it takes over like a year for our bodies to get back to normal. A year to 2 years, studies show,
Yeah.
for our bodies to get back to normal hormonally and everything. Por eso somos bien tóxicas, ¿verdad?
A little bit.
But as a husband coming in, it's like really asking these questions, going to every doctor's appointment with your wife.
What if that's not possible?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
that's nice,
There
but
are those
Ask
husbands.
ask her, how was your doctor's appointment?
okay,
How did it go?
okay.
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 If you see that she's
See, that's a
isolating and she's sad, you know, letting her know, hey, babe, I've noticed that you no quieres ir a visitar a tus papás. Like, what's going on? You know, and she might tell you, or she might lie, or, you know, you can do what my husband did to me and just be honest and be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, you can't lie to me. Like, I've known you all these years. Don't lie to me. What is going on? I can't help you if you're not honest with me.
Yeah.
And those words were so powerful to me. When he said that to me, he's like, I can't read your mind.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and it's
big
true.
one.
And it's true.
And
But a lot of us think, you know, he should know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As women, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You know, we get stuck in that cycle.
So if you're a husband that's working, you have a lot of pressures, a lot of everything, but you understand you have a wife at home with postpartum. just her knowing that you understand or you are even interested in what's going on in her life would be enough, because I'm thinking of that husband.
It's just some support.
Yeah,
You know, and asking her, you know, who can, who do you feel comfortable with coming over to the house and helping you out? You know, if it's not my mom, your mom, tu
You
hermana,
want to bring a friend.
tia, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, let's get you the help that you need, because realistically, with low-income families, someone's always going to be working,
Yeah.
and the mom is going to stay home with the baby,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But we got to be able to give that mom the resources to get out so that she doesn't isolate herself.
Yeah.
Because the more that she isolates herself, the more that she's increasing that depression. That depression, that anxiety, it's just getting...
And I think it's because she's sitting in that room just overthinking everything.
Yeah, and then they're returning to work moms. They're starting to think about, like, I have to go back to work.
I have to go
What am
back
I
to
gonna do?
work.
Who's gonna take care of
And
the
this is,
baby?
you know,
So
the
many
U.S. Come on, let's get it together. Let's give women a whole year off. Like, seriously?
Real.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're just raising the next generation of your taxpayers, goddammit.
For real.
You want less crime? Can we have some?
Well, I was, you know, Trump said that he was going to he was going to pay for IVF or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, dame un refund a mí.
Yeah, give me
Para
the
los dos
refund
que yo
for
traigo.
real.
Exactly.
But it's like, we need stuff like this to help our families, because realistically, a lot of people are not having children anymore.
No.
Because it's really number one, it's really expensive, and number two, there's so many people that are dealing with infertility and you don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So many couples are dealing with infertility, and if right now, if you can't refinance your house, if you can't get a loan, if you can't get borrowed money from your rich uncle or grandma and grandpa, you're not going to have a baby.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're not going to be able to have a baby because it's really expensive.